a whole on Cape Cod. They are housing in a lot of illegal immigrants into here and taking up housing that we already are lacking for the local Cape Cod people. They are going to over-inundate our schools and our healthcare system, and it is not right. They allowed U.S. citizens to stay in this hotel at an emergency basis. They threw them out because they couldn't even pass Board of Health conditions. And it was good enough for them then, but now it's not good enough for the illegals. They took a lot of the illegal immigrants out of the Otis airfare space and gave them Section 8s above all of the Cape Cod residents who have been waiting 7 to 8 years on a list that their families grew up here. We want to see our families, our children, be able to grow in the Cape Cod sands like the rest of them. Like the rest of us. I want my family tradition to go on. I don't want these people pushing us out. And it's already happening. It is not right. We, the people of this community, deserve to be heard and not allow this. Thank you.
Okay, sir, what's your first name?
My name is Dan.
Dan? Dan, why are you out here today?
Well, I'm out here, I live in Yarmouth. I'm a Yarmouth resident, I'm a Yarmouth taxpayer, and personally I'm of the opinion that we simply can't afford what is transpiring right now. For example, I understand that we need immigration. Yes, we absolutely do. This country was founded on immigration. My grandparents were immigrants. There was a system in place then where you had essentially Ellis Island, if you will. Think of Ellis Island, where you had a controlled system. It allowed for growth of the country, and it didn't create burdens. It allowed things to progress in an organized way. I think what we have today is we have a system. To say that the system is broken would imply that the system was working at some point. Our system really has not been working for decades, and it's only been exacerbated over the last few years until it's a point where it's completely out of control, to the extent that we are now placing people who have come to this country or in the process of coming to this country not in a orderly, legal fashion. They're literally being placed ahead of others who are here, who are literally being displaced. That may include elderly, veterans, etc. I think that system is just completely backwards, it's completely wrong. And I would love to see the politicians who have created this, and I don't see a single politician who has created this out here today.
Who are those politicians?
Well, we have my local rep, Chris Flanagan.
Yep.
We have our state senators, Julian Sear, Susan Moran, Kip Diggs, who's actually, this district is actually in his district. We have a governor who has called a state of emergency. Literally has called for an official Massachusetts state of emergency. She's called up the National Guard to deal with this. What is she doing? What does that tell you? This is broken. This is broken. We have to do better. We must do better.
So have you been protesting like before, or is this your first time really?
This is literally the first time I've ever actually joined and I'm not even going to say that this is a protest.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that this is, well, a rally to try to raise awareness of just how out of control our system is.
What was the tipping point for you?
I think the tipping point for me was seeing the manner in which the residents of the Yarmouth Resort were essentially forced out of their mortgages, which they had, and the amazing increase in their monthly homeowners association fee of virtually doubling, if not more, and that essentially forced their hands. That literally forced people out the door to make way for what we have now.
Last question: What would you like to see happen ultimately?
I would like to see a massive overhaul of the system.
Yeah.
I would like to see border enforcement.
Yeah.
border security, those two things together, border enforcement is national security. We need to do better. There's not a country in the world which has an immigration policy like we do today. It simply isn't. We're the only country in the world with a mess like this.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Jesus loves children. Jesus loves immigrants. They're not illegal. Jesus loves immigrants. Jesus loves children and immigrants and poor people. This is hate. Jesus loves immigrants. Jesus loves poor people. It's not a choice. It's not a choice.
Go home! Go home!
Mind telling us why you're here today?
I'm here to support our town and our state and stand up for our Americans and veterans who are being kicked out of their homes to make way for the illegal immigrants. And I think that it's just absolutely disgusting that we get rid of our veterans who have fought for this country to make ways for people who are coming in illegally and taking better care of them than they're taking better care of our Americans.
How long are you going to be out here protesting for?
I'm personally going to be out here for a few hours. I'm not sure how long the protest is going to go on.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, sir, and can you tell us why you're here today?
Yeah, so we're here because as a member of the Cape Cod DSA, which is Democratic Socialists of America, we want to house everyone. And we recognize that the housing crisis is a crisis of affordability, and that's not caused by people with no money and no power, right? It's not immigrants, whether they're documented or undocumented, that are causing the housing prices to skyrocket. That's people bidding up the housing market, making it unaffordable for working class people. And unfortunately, while we agree we need to house veterans, we need to house homeless people, we know that the problem's not being caused by people with no money and no power, which is why this is unfortunate, because the blame is being put on the wrong people, right? Like, it's a policy issue.
Are they blaming the migrants themselves, or?
Well, I mean, you see the signs, right? Illegals have no rights. We're being invaded.
Right.
Listen, unfortunately, I have medical conditions that didn't let me be in the military. I have a lot of friends that are in the military.
Yeah.
They saw war.
Yeah.
They know what invasions are like. They know what violence is like.
Can I ask you a quick question? I know a lot of people, including my own family, that we immigrated here legally. Like, we had to go through a process. It seems like the people that are not going through the process are going right to the top of, like, the service list and stuff like that. What are your thoughts on that?
So the thing is, in reality, there's going to be a lot of different, it's a complicated issue, because we don't know whether these people are refugees, and refugees have certain legal rights that others don't. And the reality is, a lot of times, that's not really the case. A lot of people get deported. A ton of people get deported. And so, do I think that, like, for me, I guess I'll put it this way. For me, my family came here back probably before a lot of actual immigration laws existed. I did have a grandfather that was escaping a horrible situation in Greece, and that came here. Oh, sorry, is that?
No, go ahead.
And he was escaping a horrible situation in post-war Greece, civil war, and he came here illegally. He got deported, and he had started a family and was allowed back. And he became a productive member of society. And this is the thing. We're treating these people as if they're all criminals. We're treating children as if they're horrible criminals. And in reality, they're human beings. And it's a tough situation. I'm not going to say it's not. And I can feel for people that did the process.
So they're human beings. You have compassion for them. And you're here speaking for them today.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. I mean, ideally, again, we feel for veterans too. We do a lot of housing work.
Yeah.
Veterans, the homeless. And we just know that the problem is not the people with no money and no power. The problem is the ruling class and the wealthy, who's through their policy, through bidding up the housing, is causing the crisis. And we want the focus to be on that and not turned against the power.
Can I ask you why you're like slowing? Why are you slowing traffic down?
I'm not slowing. It's just kind of bad for the immigrants. We come
¿Habla español o portugués?
Hablo los dos.
Los dos. ¿De dónde es usted?
De República Dominicana.
Dominicana.
Sí.
¿Y estás aquí pagando los impuestos y todo eso? Aren. Entonces, legal. Ellos están contra los ilegales.
Óyeme, tú sabes que, do you know how difficult it is for an illegal alien?
Pull over here. Why don't you park down there and come back? Because you can't hold up traffic.
Okay.
Jadira, tell us, why are you out here today speaking to this issue?
Because I think this is a way to create hate towards the immigrants, because the reality is it's very hard to obtain a green card, or it's very hard to obtain a green card or a citizenship. We don't really get anything for free. We work hard. I myself was an illegal alien, and I came all the way from the ground. I work in factories where nobody wanted to work myself up, work as an American interpreter, finally made it to school, became an RN. And you know, when you go to a hospital, there's a lot of immigrants in there. So we are trying to cherry pick the ones that maybe, or the majority of immigrants are very good people, and they work really hard to make it here. We don't really, without Social Security, you don't get nothing in this country, not even a tiny little bit.
So, yeah, Jadira, why do you think they're so upset right now?
Because they're giving asylum to people, and they're bringing people that are probably escaping wars and many things. We don't realize how lucky we are in this country, and I think out of compassion we can help those people that don't have the opportunity. This is a country of opportunity. You go to school, you make good money. In the Dominican Republic, you can be a doctor and live in a really poor neighborhood. So I think because of that, you know, it's not that bad. For the immigrants, I worked in a factory, and I have to say that at some point I have a fake number, and all my taxes stay. I never got a return. So now I pay taxes like everybody else. Nobody's gonna return me. And I work hard.
But you're working right now, and you're doing it now. Yeah. You're doing it legally.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
right.
I do.
And you're providing a service, right?
It took a lot of work, and it was very difficult.
Okay.
And my brother was in the process of getting a green card, and for some paperwork issue, his green card was taken away, and he was told, you cannot go to school, you cannot work until this process is over. In the meanwhile, what does he do? It's pretty much sending us to, you know.
Can I, una pregunta?
Yeah?
Can I ask you one question?
Yeah?
What would you say to the countries? The thing is, why, like in Mexico, I lived there,
Yeah.
4 años,
Okay.
right? And there's a lot of rich people, there's a lot of money. Why aren't we saying to the, I mean, shouldn't we be saying to Mexico, take better care of your people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree, but those are undeveloped countries and not always the education
Mexico.
of the teens.
Mexico's got.
Well, Mexico is getting, but there's a lot of poverty that we don't see here.
There's a lot of corruption
There's
too.
a lot.
A lot of drogas.
Exactly.
Fentanyl.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
But
I've
it's
seen-
but that let's be honest, the majority of Mexican are like that. The vast majority.
But the money down there, because I lived in Guadalajara.
Okay.
And
Yeah, there's money
they had
in Dominican,
helicopters. Helicopters.
There's
you know,
there's
big mansions, their own police forces and things like that.
Okay.
Shouldn't we be putting pressure on those people since they have so much money?
Yeah, but when you come and get into a big group like that, you're promoting hate. And I know all about it because
Yeah.
I'm an immigrant and I
So
know
you're feeling hate?
for me this creates.
Are you feeling hate
create-
from me?
No, you're not.
No.
You're
Okay.
being pretty awesome, but that promotes
muchas
the idea.
gracias,
This promotes the idea
Yeah.
that we are actually stealing when we in fact are working really hard to also maintain the country that gave us all of these resources to grow, to move from the bottom to up.
Yeah.
And that's for the most part, that's where we come. There's a short amount that, yeah, do drugs, sell drugs, rape, do whatever it is, but the vast majority of immigrants are people that are working really hard to
I
make
think
a
I
future.
agree with you on that, especially on the Cape. I wish they would get into
Yeah.
government more, right?
Yeah, so-
but what they're upset about is not the people that are already here, and not the people that have been trickling in at the normal rate. There's been like a flood across the border, right? And I think some of them think it's kind of unfair for everyone. There might be some haters over there, but I think if you
what
walk around
about
and talk to them-
instead of immigrants, illegal and immigrants, what about saying let's get better care for our veterans? Let's get better care because there's a lot of poverty, especially on the Cape. The Cape particularly has a big problem with housing.
Yeah.
You know?
¿Tiene usted niños chiquitos? ¿Cuántos?
4.
4.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So let's say one of your kids gets sick, right? And the government, like, all of a sudden decides they're not going to pay for that. They're going to pay for somebody that's never lived here before, their children first. How would you feel?
They actually, places like Shriner, Mass General.
No, but
and
how
all
would you
these
feel
places,
if the government put your kids second to people that
they shouldn't. They should be
they
equal.
shouldn't, right? That's
they
why
should
they're
be equal.
That's right.
Equal.
That's why they're mad.
But there is illegal. What about offering a better life to our people in general? Illegals, not illegals. But you know, one of the best things is that you are hurt and you are taken to a hospital, and the first thing that they don't do ask you for insurance. They take care of.
Yeah.
This is what makes America
So we should.
big.
I mean, I think
So
everybody
this
would
is-
love to take care of anybody, Jadira. But the thing is, do you ever think we're going to run out of money? I mean, isn't there a tipping point where?
I don't. Compared to all the countries out there, I don't think so.
I mean, if you're
Let's
an
be
RN, you're
honest.
making good money, right?
I
Pretty good.
can survive, but what about those that work in a restaurant that are usually
That's right.
illegals? Like, again, like I was gonna say, here in the Cape in particular, there's a
Yeah.
big problem with housing. Every time someone is gonna make housing for the ones that do not make that much, you know what?
Yeah.
People complain because it's gonna make their area ugly or this and that. So when someone tells me you did it right,
Yeah.
to get a green card is help.
Okay.
There's only 2 ways. You're either born here, you marry, or you have a career that is so needed in here
Sí.
that they allow you to come.
Pues yo entiendo.
Okay.
Todo, okay?
Yeah.
Pero I think if you listen to some of their stuff and they listen to yours, you guys might end up agreeing on some things. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I just think if that's the problem, let's take care of our people. There shouldn't be the immigrants all over the place.
Right.
Go back to your country. I have been told that. Learn to
That's
speak
hate.
English.
That's hate.
So believe it or not, you are entitled to your opinion.
No, but
and
they
everybody.
shouldn't be
But
any
when
hate.
you are putting illegal, take them out of here, blah blah blah, you're promoting hate.
Yeah.
I think it would, in my opinion, would it be better just to say, let's take care of our veterans, let's take care of our people. And it's more objective, and I think even the immigrants will support that.
Okay, muchas gracias. Muchas gracias.
Okay, I hope I don't look terrible.
Wait, thank you very much. Muchas thank yous.
You want me to state my name or anything?
So what's your name?
Veronica Worthington.
Veronica. And why are you out here today, Veronica?
We can't let this go on any longer, and as a nation, we have to start in every little town and come out and voice our opinions. And so far, this looks like it's working, and I hope it spreads across the nation.
Why do you think so many people showed up out here today?
Well, this here in Yarmouth is going to affect not only the schools, you know, the budget for the year, putting all these children in school, if that's what's coming. The veterans, that we need housing for veterans. The cost of living is astronomical, and a lot of locals, like myself, are being driven out. I'm fortunate enough to have a house, but
You're being driven out?
local people are.
Okay.
I am not, because I was lucky enough to inherit a beautiful place. But you can't afford to live here. And that's become a struggle for us as well as everyone.
What would you like to see happen from this protest?
I would like to see the border closed. I think that's the whole point of this.
Close the border.
Yeah, and I don't think it should be Democrat or Republican. It has to be the realization that this administration has completely destroyed our United States with this. We can't, you know, sustain this.
Thank you.
Okay.
Why are you out here today?
This is a very important issue, and we feel that, I'm sorry, it's a very important issue, and we feel that what our governor is trying to do is wrong and being done in the wrong way. It's not that we have anything against the people themselves that come here, but they came here illegally, and that's just the way it is. They didn't. If we ever tried to get into their country the way they came into ours, we'd end up in jail for life or killed. So we're trying to just make a statement that there's a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things. And Maura Healey is bent on doing it the wrong way, probably because it's quicker. So that's why we're here.
Very good. And what's your name?
My name is Louis Benito.
Louis Benito. Thank you very much for your time.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Well, I'm here today for quite a few different reasons. But one of those reasons is my son doesn't, he can't afford to rent an apartment here. He definitely can't afford to buy a house. He's renting a room. Woo! And it's just very unfair that they're taking money out of his paycheck to house these people here with a pool and everything else, that whatever it is that they want. And that's just one of the reasons. I mean, the overall concept of having people here illegally is wrong in the first place, no matter what.
Well, what's your first name?
But you know
Alita.
that.
Alita?
See, they're not protected if
Why do you
they
think so
lie.
many people showed up out here today?
Because the majority of people here really feel the way we do. And they're tired of this. They're tired of being taken advantage
Wheels
of.
of justice.
And I mean, we have our own people to take care of. We don't need to be importing them. And that's pretty much the way I think most people feel right now.
Veterans,
Very much.
illegals out of
Very
our
much for your
country.
statement.
They don't belong here.
Why are you here today, sir?
Well, I'm tired of people like Commissar Healey writing the check on our bank account when none of us voted for this, but she gets to just, you know, piss our money up a poll, whatever she feels is right, in order to gather votes. Because we all know they're going to vote. They're going to get free driver's licenses. They're going to be able to go to the polls, and we know who they're going to vote for. They're going to vote to the giving party. They're giving away of taxpayers' money. And I'm just tired of it.
So what are you saying about the state of emergency, though, with the National Guard?
They just created the situation themselves by opening the borders. If you don't have borders, you don't have a nation. There's not one nation in the world that doesn't protect their borders. Christ, we spend more money overseas helping other foreign nations protect their borders. 150 billion to the Ukraine. God bless the Ukraine people, but you know, this is just.
When you say they created it, who's they?
I'd have to say the communist regime of America, better known as the Democratic Party, unfortunately.
So you're against the Democrats right now? Is that?
They're ones right now. Yeah. If JFK was a Democrat, they'd throw him out right now. You know.
Have you ever been a Democrat?
No, I've always been independent. I'll go. You know, no affiliation.
The reason why I ask, I know a lot of people that were Democrats and they're not Democrats anymore.
Right, and you know, we need a two-party system. Yeah. You know, each has its own side. We can agree to disagree things, but this is just blatant misuse of funds. And you know, other countries are taking in immigrants that, you know, they're actual immigrants and they have skills and they have ability and they have contributions to make. Canada's taking it a bunch from South Africa. Doctors, lawyers, accountants, they're not taking these people. They try to send them up there and they shut the border down on them. And, you know, I feel bad for it, but, you know, they need to go home and fix their own country, you know, not live off of ours. And I just, you know, it's very frustrating. Dana.
Dana?
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Hey, you're welcome. Thank you. I appreciate what you do.
Thank you.
Okay, perfect.
Watch it, watch it. Thank you.
They wouldn't accept the illegals in here because of code line, but
Ready? Tell us, go ahead. Tell us why you're here.
The reason I'm here is for the unfair treatment of these residents that are living in this motel behind me. They've been here a year or two or three, paying their weekly rent, and now a month or so ago they've been asked to pay a rent increase. It's so unfair, immoral, unethical, and I just feel that something needs to be done by our leadership, whether it be the town, and I know the governor has the executive, mandate or however, whatever. Thank you, state of emergency. And so, all that being said, yeah, that's why I'm
What'd
here.
you like to see happen?
Well, I'd like to honestly see law and order back in our city, town, state. Yeah. And if people want to come here illegally, I mean, if people want to come here legally, albeit all fine. Well, I'm a product of immigration, legally. Yeah. But I don't believe in this above and beyond or special treatment for folks that weren't even born in the country. They're going to be going to our schools, which start next Wednesday. And I just think it puts a burden on our town, the state, and I just think, you know, it's a tough, I don't want to get too mean-spirited in my answer. Right. But the answer is really, they don't belong here. I think they need to go back somewhere.
So it's a matter of laws.
Law.
Yeah, follow the laws. Right?
We're a nation of laws, and without law and order, or, you know, recognizing laws, I mean, what good are we? I mean,
what's your name, sir?
My name is Jack.
Jack, thank you for your comment.
Yeah,
thank
you're
you
welcome.
Thank you. A lot of supporters out here. Beautiful thing.
What brought you out here today?
I'm not a usual protester, but I believe at this time, this community cannot support an influx of people that are going to tax our system. We must take care of our citizens, our veterans, our community first. And putting people in here that will tax our entire system, It's just not right. It is just not right. We have to take care of our own home. Thank you.
And what's your first name?
Kathleen.
Kathleen?
Yes.
Just one last question
Yes.
for you. Why do you think so many people showed up out here today?
Well, I think it's touching us. We see a lot of stuff on the news, whoever you watch, whatever, but this is touching home. This means that these children are going to need services. People are going to be services. We can't handle the services at this juncture. So we need to, I think it wakes the community up to say we have to take care of ourselves. Let's take care of ourselves. I hope that people recognize what we're trying to do here is not hurt anyone at all. It's saying, let's do what's right. Let's take care of putting our people to work, finding affordable housing for our community members, allow people to come to our country legally. We are all sons and daughters of immigrants, all of us, but all of them came legally. Let's take care of our own. Thank you.
So tell us, why are you out here today?
Well, I mean, I live here, so the fact that we work our tails off to get, you know, where we are, and they're just going to hand all our stuff away, that and the mess they bring, I mean, it's kind of sets its own precedent, you know?
What's your first name?
Randy.
Randy, why do you think so many people came out today?
The same reason. I mean, why should we back, you know, 45 mil a month? We pay enough for what's going on just here as it is.
Do you think people have, like, this is one of the most busiest protests I've seen on the Cape, actually. Do you think people are just getting tired of what's going on?
Oh, of course. I mean, we got vets that sleep on the street. Why don't we house them first?
Right. Who's to blame for this? You know,
I mean, I'd go with the Democrats first, but
yeah,
we'll go with Healey. Yep, she's the one allowing it.
Right.
So,
what would you like to see happen?
No illegals here, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, finish the wall.
Right.
Trump. I mean, I could keep going.
Yeah. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye.